Like, he simply makes excuses that it is hard to find one for a particular group like them. And he also reveals something. It is that they never bring healers to the dungeons. In the thoughts of our Sung Jin-woo, he mentions that this is insanity. But what makes him angriest is that there are no healers, so he sets out to read the contract better before signing it stupidly as he is reading it. He realizes that one part says that they are not responsible for any accident inside the dungeon, since that is the only strange thing he ends up signing anyway. And in that, another hunter, who is also there to fill the numbers, introduces himself as Yu Jin-ho, claiming to be D rank. But what draws the most attention for our little furball is that this guy has some pretty expensive gear. On top of that, this new kid tells him, "Calm down, I will protect you." And while they are walking, heading toward the portal, he asks him whether the backpack is weighing him down a lot, but no. Jin-woo answers him that he should simply not worry, because for him it is fine, so he changes the subject. The kid asks whether he knew that the president of the company running this fled after stealing 90,000 million, a fact that does not surprise our protagonist at all. And so they reach the portal, although upon seeing it, many doubt that it truly is a C-rank dungeon. But Jin-woo explains to the kid that size does not matter much, but rather the magical waves you can notice inside, those are the key, because the association investigators focus on that before entering the portal and investigating. The youngster is surprised that he knows so much, but our Lord Humility mentions that he has been a hunter for a long time already, although when he looks at the portal again, he is aware that this is also his first C-rank dungeon, and so everyone goes in, noticing that everything is very dark. So one uses his magic to light the way, and seeing this situation reminds our Sung of that traumatic place. Then the youngster asks about what noctilucent stones are, so our muscular hunter answers him kindly. Well, these are some common stones that emit light. They find them in cave-type dungeons. Upon hearing this, the newbie gets confused, because he still does not tell the difference from magical stones. Yes, the kid is a bit slow. After walking a little more, they reach a place where there are different entrances, but our protagonist starts hearing something, being surprised that in this dungeon there are beings that walk through the darkness and come closer when they see a light. After focusing and listening, he warns everyone that they are insectoid monsters and they are coming from above. And thanks to that, everyone prepares for the imminent attack. Even the newbie puts himself up as a shield for our Sung Jin-woo, but this is not so necessary. Because the group coordinates well, the leader uses provocation so they attack him and the others can strike the monsters, something they achieve successfully. But there he realizes these guys are kind of rough, because they are way too confident for not having a healer. When he looks at the newbie, he sees him as a decent force. But what helps him the most is his luxurious equipment. So, without warning, a spider tries to attack him from behind without him noticing. But he gets eliminated by a simple kick, on top of that, with a little flourish. After eliminating all the monsters, the leader thanks our protagonist for warning them, and asks him how he knew they were coming from above. However, our little furball distrusts him and simply answers that it was intuition. He praises it, saying it is an incredible skill, but at that very moment, one of the companions discovers something, which are corpses of ant monsters that were chewed up by another bigger monster he thinks maybe have fought over territory. But that does not matter, because if the monster was capable of devouring these bugs like it was nothing, it must be very strong. Since he sees the guys from far away, he warns the newbie to be very careful with the others, because his sword and shield are very expensive, while on the other hand, they do not look like trained hunters at all. And bam, we also get shown the national rank hunter Baek Yoon-ho, yes, the same guy from the interview, who this time is training his fist as he destroys a huge rock. Well, I prefer that we go back to our protagonist, who along with the others are still walking through a very narrow and long place. He is also chatting with the newbie while thinking that what he is doing is not abuse. There, he realizes that this deal is too good for him. Thinking that they already have a well-experienced team, but with no healers, which, at least for him now, feels much more suspicious. Well, on the way, they run into more ant monsters, which they eliminate right away, and then they arrive at a strange place, so the leader tells them to stop. When they light up the area, they notice there are many, even spiders, but as they advance a bit more, they find a lot of mana minerals. Although they are worth less than magic stones, since there are so many, they could become millionaires. And one tells the boss that his younger brother would die of envy. And in the mind of the leader, he only thinks that thanks to all this mana mineral, it will serve as financial capital so he can grow the whole group. And on our character's side, the newbie asks Sung Jin-woo to show him the contract because he knows a bit about laws, so he could help him. Our protagonist accepts the help, and after finishing reading it, the newbie goes toward the leader and politely complains that Jin-woo's contract says nothing about loot distribution, but they should also give him something. The boss tells him not to worry, because they will also give him his share. But the main problem right now is the boss of this dungeon, which is a huge spider. They have to defeat it to close the portal. But before that, they have to extract all the mana mineral and carry it to a place where they can take it away. There we find out that one of the group forgot the transport equipment in the car, so they will have to go back. So they ask our characters to guard all of this while they are gone. He is not scared, but the leader reassures him, telling him the monster already ate too much, so it will sleep peacefully if they do not bother it. Well, those guys leave. So our protagonist remembers and links together all the information he has about them, realizing that although for C-rank dungeons they need 8, this group always goes with 6, and it would be very stupid on their part to not have someone designated to fill the gaps. That is to say, the 2 missing people. So he reaches the conclusion that all of this is a trap to rob them of everything they have, and likewise end his life, while on the other hand, the leader orders one of his lackeys to block the boss entrance. He obeys quickly, and he not only blocks the entrance, they also woke up the giant spider. Yes, our protagonist is a whole detective, but the newbie on his part is scared, and blames himself for complaining about Sung Jin-woo's contract. Our pioneer knows that it would not have mattered, but now they have to face this giant spider, which looks like an enemy on another level. But there he realizes what he is saying, and remembering the giant statue, he realizes that monster truly was on another level, but this is nothing compared to that, so he tells the newbie to stay back, because he will kill it. Summoning his blade, he prepares for the imminent confrontation, while on the other side the bad guys calmly leave the dungeon through the portal. There, one of his companions asks the leader whether it was necessary to destroy the entrance and wake the spider, since he could have easily eliminated the newbies quickly. Dan-suk insults him for being so dumb and explains his mistake, that if they woke the dungeon boss, they would no longer be able to extract more minerals. So he reveals his plan, and it is that although both newbies fight with all their strength against the spider, since they are such low ranks and they do not have experience fighting bosses, it is a clear defeat for them. After that happens and the monster eats the boys, it will fall asleep with its belly full. As soon as that happens, they will go collect the mineral. But then another interrupts, asking how they will enter since they closed the only entrance and exit, so the leader tells them he saw a hole, through that they will go down to defeat the spider. Hearing it, everyone congratulates him because it is an excellent plan, but then he gives them a plus, and it is that the kid with the shining armor, both his sword and shield, are already very expensive by themselves, so if they do not manage to get the necessary mineral, they will have to settle for the kid's stuff. On top of that, this jerk says something cynical, and it is that afterward he will find out which rich family he belongs to accompany them at his funeral, but then the leader asks his best friend if he thinks he can defeat that giant spider alone. The guy admits it is not possible for him. Dan-suk admits it is not for him either. And since they made a lot of noise, the spider must be very furious. So with a cold and malevolent look, he says those 2 are lost now. Now we move to the panel with our protagonist, who gets stopped by the rich kid, because he tells him that to defeat a C-rank boss, the hunter must be at least B-rank, so he tells him his plan, which is to leave, because even the 2 of them together cannot handle that monster. Hearing his words, our Sung Jin-woo gets a bit thoughtful. He knows the kid is partly right, and that even leveling up with his second awakening, he is still weak, and he even remembers when he fought the huge poisonous blue snake, which was a D-rank boss, and also the golem boss that he beat. However, in this situation, this monster is stronger than both of them. But despite everything, he does not feel fear, nor does he feel intimidated by such a monster. He knows he has gotten strong enough not to tremble before a C-rank boss, and so with a smile, he gets ready to launch himself to attack it. On the first attempt, he easily dodges the monster's attacks, landing with a lot of style, while the wind shows off his hair. On the other side of the city, in a nice limousine, a new character is introduced, who is the president of the Korean Hunters Association, Go Gun-hee, accompanied by our blonde guy, Gookin Chul. And on the way, the kindly old man tells him that politics, the media, the energy companies, all the meetings he is having are exhausting him mentally. He admits that above all things, politics has never been his strong suit. The young man understands how he feels, and since he knows that today he has no more plans, he proposes having a test combat with him because that might help him change the air and release stress, words that make the president smile because he knows veterans should already retire, but that does not mean they refuse when a young man asks them for advice. So, returning with our protagonist, he keeps fighting the spider, realizing that his little blade does not leave even a scratch on the monster, because that spider really does have very tough skin, and not only that, because when he dodges the spider's leg stab toward him, he notices that even its attacks are very strong, and he is aware that if even one hits him, he will die. So he keeps moving fast and attacking the spider, which leaves the rich kid very perplexed, because clearly this guy does not move like someone of E rank, and with fear he wonders, who the heck is this guy? So it comes to his mind whether he had falsified his rank. Of that he has only heard bad rumors, because hunters who are capable of controlling their power and register with a rank lower than the real one usually like to massacre people. Seeing our guy's face with thirst for blood, he gets even more scared, to the point of peeing his pants. Yet, in the fight, our Sung Jin-woo is cursing his luck because he practically does not hurt the monster at all, and on top of that the system warns him that his fatigue is already at 57%, so if that increases, his speed will drop, a situation that would give him a huge disadvantage. So taking advantage that the system is right in his face, he starts thinking about his dagger, remembering that it has paralysis and drain, so he sees a light of hope in this battle, considering that the dagger's powers are the key. So he sets out to look for a weak point, which clearly is the eyes, but when he is running to attack, this jerk throws acid at him, so he has no choice but to retreat, but he is aware that if he stays still for too long, he will be lost in front of the enemy, so he has no choice but to get close no matter what, and so he activates his sprint skill, with which he can increase his speed by 30%, and he gets into position to rush the monster in one go, and he also uses the ceiling for greater impact. But in the end, he does not manage to hit the eye, and the monster is also about to attack him, so he has no choice but to retreat, saying that if one hit is not enough, then he will stab it as many times as it takes. So he runs very fast, forcing his way through, but unfortunately, the fatigue starts affecting him.